straight ahead. Hey, everybody. My name is Dan. I am a veterinarian, and I have my wife here.
And my name is Jordan, and I'm not a veterinarian.
She is not, but she gets to listen to all my stories all the time.
And I love every one of them.
So today we're going to go over a handful of things. There'll be some medical stuff. As always, if you have questions, please feel free to leave them. And Jordan has the computer over here. She'll peek at it. If we're able to comment and respond back, we will. If we're able to answer the question, we will. But thanks for joining us on this Sunday. We had the Sarpy County Fair this week.
We did.
Yeah, this weekend. We went 4 times.
Yeah, we did, but it still wasn't enough.
What was your favorite part?
Probably going through the barn.
Yeah.
Because I really want to go.
I know. And we will probably be getting to go at some point. We kind of have to. And my daughter, Hazel, who is 6, did the scramble where they have the whole rodeo arena. They let the kids just run, and they get to get an animal. So all the little 4-H kids will put animals all over the place, and they line them up and they run, and they have rabbits and chickens and ducks. So we have we have chickens, and I was praying we would not get a rabbit.
I am so glad we did not get a rabbit.
I feel like I should have told her from the get-go, honey, I want you to grab a chicken.
No.
She loves chicken.
Yeah.
So what happened was we were sprinting down to get in the scramble, and they closed the big gate to the rodeo arena, and they're like, no more 6 and 7-year-olds. And Hazel was definitely disappointed. So then we waited till the boys finished, and then they were 8-year-olds, and I was like, go for it, Hazel. And she's like, I'm not 8. And I was like, go. Mm-hmm. And she did it. She was half as tall as the other kids, but she got a chicken.
But I think that's fair, though, because Hazel is actually a really good chicken wrangler, so the 6 and 7-year-olds would not stand a chance.
Oh, yeah, she does a great job.
I know,
chickens.
she does.
I had a handful of questions that I wanted to touch on, maybe if we have time. But the one thing I wanted to mention just right away here is I had a dog this week come in. It was a really nice guy, and his daughter came in. Really sweet family. The dog was limping. Mm-hmm. And he had been somewhere else, and the dog wasn't getting better. It had been on some meds already, and it still wasn't getting better. It was a back leg, and the doggy was just hopping around. And it was only a 5-year-old mixed breed, 40-pound dog. And it really wasn't using the leg very well for the last couple weeks. So here's the deal, guys. That happened, and they were questioning, what could it be? Could it be a thorn in the foot? What do you think, Dan? And I'm not gonna lie, I was casually busy that day, so I just went right in for it. And I looked the doggy over, I palpated the leg, and right away, within about 2 or 3 minutes, I had a diagnosis. So okay. It was an ACL.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Yeah. We have a question from Deborah, but we'll get back to you in a second, Deborah.
Okay, thanks. We had an ACL tear. So with an ACL, guys, remember all you have to do is manipulate the knee a little bit. And just a little bit of manipulation of the knee, you can get a cranial drawer. And I told this pet parent, I was like, hey, here's the deal. We can do x-rays and we can do all this other stuff, and we should. But a veterinarian can diagnose a torn ACL pretty quickly, guys. So just a little bit of palpation, a cranial drawer, it's diagnosed. And then we went over treatment. Treatment is going to be the best option is going to be a TPLO. That's the big fancy procedure. And that ranges in price from $3,000 to $6,000. So there's I know it's a lot of money, guys, but surgery on the knee is pretty extensive sometimes. So what do you got for me, honey?
From Deborah Shep, she said her German Shepherd was euthanized last week. It was 8 due to osteocarcinoma. My question is, did I do the right thing? It was aggressive tumor on her hind leg.
Hey, Deborah. Yeah, I'm super sorry to hear that. That's never easy. So I don't know your situation, but with bone cancer and osteosarcoma, those are incredibly aggressive. What we're told in school is the doggy is experiencing a lot of pain from the bone cancer. And even if you were to go on in any of these situations, you'd go and remove the leg and you'd take the leg off surgery-wise, you have microscopic spread in most cases to the lungs or other parts of the body, but especially the lungs. When I have this talk with any pet parent, I tell them, here's the deal. Like, if we take the leg off, one, we're going to feel better after the surgery because the chronic nagging pain is gone. But the bigger problem is, in most cases, in almost all the cases, we can't cure this. Now, sometimes they'll send to oncology and they'll try to do something above and beyond. But the big thing is surgery is usually just palliative care, meaning we're just trying to provide some relief.
Okay.
So unfortunately, most doggies that have osteosarcoma are euthanized at the diagnosis, or they are euthanized within a year, if not like 6 months after the leg is removed.
Okay.
And a lot of these doggies, because Deborah, a lot of these doggies are older, are bigger, have secondary problems like arthritis and other problems. So sometimes we get into these doggies and they can barely move around already from other problems.
Yeah.
So we look at them and we're like, we can't give the doggy a good quality of life after removing the leg.
Sure.
So we're stuck. Yeah. And there are other things you can do, other palliative care things, but I can't speak on your exact situation, Deborah, but I can definitely say it's never wrong to euthanize for osteosarcoma.
Okay.
Because it's painful, it's chronic, we're not going to cure it. And the goal is to give our doggies the best quality of life, a loving life, and a life that is allowing them to be a dog.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Deborah, and we're really sorry for your loss. That must have been a really hard choice to make.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us. I know that was probably really hard to share as well. Osteosarcoma, it's a really devastating one because usually the doggy comes in hopping, skipping, and limping, and it's diagnosed, and it's like everyone's shocked by it. And now we go from like thinking we had a healthy dog with maybe a sprained leg to a dog that we can't fix most of the time.
Sure.
Yeah. And there is a lot of the labs are working towards doing diagnostic tests that allow us to look for cancer earlier. Okay. And IDEX has one for lymphoma. There's a handful of, like OncoCanine has one for, OncoDX, has one for just scanning for, especially hemangiosarcoma. Talk to your veterinarian, just in general, everybody, about cancer screening tests that you can do. Now, the original cancer screening tests were like blood work and x-rays, and those are great. Medicine is moving towards screening tests that are looking for cancer. And the one thing I mentioned in previous videos is, even though we're screening for cancer earlier, at this point, we don't exactly know what to do when we find it before it presents itself. So if it comes back and the marker's high for a cancer, we don't actually know what the next step might be, especially if we're picking up on it before we have symptoms or masses. Yeah. Thank you. If there's more questions, feel free to comment, guys. We really appreciate your input on the video. The other thing I want to comment on today, honey, I know it's kind of we're changing gears a little bit. I had a question, a really motivated viewer wrote me an email this week, and they talked about how to order medicine on Chewy.com. Chewy.com is one of those websites where you can go and you can order pharmacy meds. And this viewer wrote a whole list of the things that she was going through and all these different requests she had about possibly me approving some medicine for her. And what I want you guys to know is, a YouTuber guy like me or any other veterinarian that is like in your life, let's say you have a friend who's a vet or a family member who's a veterinarian, nobody is going to be able to approve an RX script through any online or any big box pharmacy retailers without a veterinarian putting hands on your doggy. So a veterinarian needs to have that relationship with you. So if a vet does a physical on your exam on your doggy, and they have a working relationship with you and your pet, that veterinarian has the authority and power. If you called them up on a Monday and you're like, hey, you just saw me last week, the skin infection is still going on, it's not helping, could we pivot? And they could definitely make a recommendation and definitely change your medicine without seeing you based on their previous physical exam. But with that being said, and that email that was sent to me, I, of course, cannot approve any medicine, or any veterinarian can't, without seeing your doggy first. And then once they're seen, that allows them to move forward with you, filling scripts based on your communications. I get a lot of questions about Chewy.
Oh, really?
Chewy.com. They do a lot of pharmacy meds. And it's one of those things where, we approve a lot of scripts online for like online pharmacies, but the online pharmacy always needs a real life physical exam by a veterinarian before you can get that approved. Yep. Because like even on Amazon now, you can like order RXs for animals, and they're going to ask you like, who's your veterinarian? And then they will send your vet an email saying, could you approve this?
I didn't realize you could order from Amazon.
Yeah, you can. And we will get just, I shouldn't say tons, guys. I'm not typing it. We get a number of emails requesting RXs on a super regular basis, like daily. We have a little folder at work of like RXs that are requested, and we'll flip through it and check the medical charts, see when we last see them, what we're working on, and then we'll approve them based on our medical charts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. Let me see here. And then I had one other thing I want to talk about today. And of course, did you have anything you wanted to add? I feel like it's kind of...
So like, what's the time period? Like how recent do they need to be seen? Because I was actually just talking to Adriana about this yesterday. She actually works in the same animal hospital as Dan, and she takes care of like all the prescriptions and stuff that come in.
Yeah. So she was asking like time frame?
We were talking about it because I think that the person had waited too long or hadn't been seen in a while. And so like you couldn't approve it. Sure.
Great question. So when we're talking about, most veterinarians require you to be seen yearly. If you have a working relationship with your vet, you're being seen yearly by them. Okay. So when you look at a client, let's say you have a prescription food. Let's say you have preventive medicine like heartworm, flea and tick, all those things like that. As long as your veterinarian has seen you within the last year, I preface this, most of them will approve you. Okay. That's pretty typical. Now, let's say you have a chronic ear infection, or let's say you have chronic skin, or let's say it's something that's a little bit more like, it's more of a problem, it's disease, In those cases, your veterinarian may ask to see you on a more regular basis to keep approving it. But for example, I have a handful of clients, and I see their doggy repeatedly for similar issues. Like I have some dogs that have chronic UTIs. They're older, they're incontinent, and we have a very organized relationship with like seeing them, phone call communication, and then refilling medicines. So they are coming in more frequently to get things refilled and also get direction on the phone. But it just kind of depends on how serious things are with your doggy. But most of your basic supportive, preventative diets, that kind of deal, it's almost yearly.
Okay.
Yep.
That sounds fair.
Yeah. I mean, once a year's not too bad. I mean, I go to the dentist like every 6 months. So like going to your vet once a year, it's not too bad. And I really do encourage you guys to go to your vet like once a year, because when a veterinarian looks at their medical chart to see when they've seen you, if you're coming in for an emergency or something like that, we try to see like every single pet that's ever been to our clinic. Okay. So if it's really, really busy and we've never seen your pet before, like you have of course, we're going to redirect you to another vet hospital or to an emergency hospital.
Sure.
But if the way most vet clinics work, if they have seen you within the last year, they will consider you like one of their clients. We consider if we've seen you once, you're a client of ours. We're
Sure.
always going to see you. But most veterinarians function with, if we've seen you within the last year, we will definitely try to work you in.
And I actually knew that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because of me or?
Yeah, from like talking about it. Because I know sometimes like if you get home late, somebody comes in, it's like usually like a client that's coming in later, and you usually will stop and see them.
Yeah. We close at 6, and like there's a lot of like shorts on this and funny veterinary stuff. It's probably not funny for the average Joe watching, but for us as a veterinarians, people rolling in at like 5:55 for like bloody diarrhea is like a common thing. And that's okay. That's totally fine. We're open, you know?
Yeah.
But just like swinging in, and then us being like, let's run some blood work really fast. Let's give some fluids. Let's stabilize. And if it's still a problem, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. The next thing I wanted to comment on was I try not to watch too many shorts, like short videos, like those kind of things, you know? So this is long form.
Why not?
I don't think it's the healthiest thing to flip through your phone watching shorts.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So this is long form. This is okay. You can turn this on and do the dishes and listen to us ramble, right? This is okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was watching a short on YouTube, and it's a veterinarian that I really like. He's probably cooler than me in the real world. Maybe. It's probably debatable, but he might
you're
be.
pretty cool.
Thanks. Anyway, he's an emergency veterinarian, and his short was talking about how people will come in and they won't do tests. So he was not complaining about it, but he was like, why did you come in then? Like, you came in, you said no to the ultrasound, you said no to the radiograph, no to the blood work. Well, why are you here?
I know the answer to that.
What's the answer?
Because it's so expensive.
It is. It 100% is. I don't want to be a hater on my emergency room friends. They have a really hard job. They're up all night. It needs to be more expensive when you roll into an emergency clinic. So I get that. With that being said, check this out. I had a client come in, and they had just been to the emergency room, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do any tests because it was really expensive.
Sure.
So the emergency room printed off all the tests they wanted ran, and I see the dog the next day, and it's okay, you know. And I talked to him a bit, and the tests they wanted to have run were totally appropriate. So I was like, okay, we can totally do these. I run all those tests, and it was about $950. A lot of money. The dog had some serious things going on, but we did a lot of work that day. And don't get me wrong, I have very few bills in the veterinary hospital at the adult practitioner level that are over $1,000. So that was a big, expensive, workup. The emergency room the day before wanted. I'm gonna have you guess, okay? Don't take forever, okay?
I'll guess this time, okay?
Okay. So it was like $950 with me.
Okay.
The emergency room gave her the bill, the estimate, and she gave it to me. Guess how much they wanted?
I'm gonna guess 2,000.
They wanted $3,300 for the same services, and we used the same lab.
Okay.
Like, it's not any different. Like, most veterinary clinics, general practitioners will mark it up maybe like 30% to cover like our services, like drawing blood, keeping the lights on, our support staff, us working. Like, you have to mark it up some, or else you make zero money. But it was crazy, and I was like, that is why I feel like this happens sometimes, because people. The way I view emergency hospitals is people go in there and they need help. They need to be supported, and they need to know their dog's going to be okay. And sometimes you have to spend the big money because your dog's life is in danger, or if you let the problem keep going, it will affect your dog's prognosis. So the quality of life won't be as good because you let it sit.
Okay.
So a back dog. A dog that can't walk, if you let that sit all night, it could get substantially worse. You have to fix that. Or let's say you have a dog with
wait, let me get a pyometria.
A pyometria is good. A pyometria is good because those can be really serious. I was gonna say like a hemangiosarcoma, like a bloody spleen that's bleeding out. So there are some things like you have to fix. You have to fix. But sometimes the role of the emergency clinic is to do a physical exam, because the physical exam is the best diagnostic tool a vet has. It's always preached that the physical exam is the best thing your vet can do for you. So if the emergency room clinic, if the emergency room vet does a good physical exam and they say your vitals are normal, your physical exam is good, if they truly have concerns, and we hear about this all the time, people talk about this at lectures and continuing education. They call it the spectrum of care. And the spectrum of care is when a veterinarian says, well, we could do all of this, or we could do this much. And it's all about trying to figure out what is best for the dog or cat and what can the owner afford and still provide good medicine. So my answer to all of that, what I just said, was I think as a pet parent, you should go into emergency clinics and really ask the emergency room doctor, like, what they actually think. Like, can this wait till tomorrow morning? Do I need to run all this? Because the way veterinary hospitals are set up emergency-wise is they don't know you, they don't know your doggy, they don't want to make a mistake, and I don't blame them. So they're going to run everything possible to rule things out and make sure your doggy or kitty is okay. But if funds are tight and you burn just a ton of money, like $3,000, let's say, at the emergency room, and let's say your doggy needs more care the next day or the next day, we need to be really aware of what we can spend and how we can delegate our money out so we do the best and most good for our doggies. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
So if money is tight and you just like want the peace of mind to like, see if your dog is going to make it through the night, you could take them to your normal veterinarian.
Yeah.
Like what would the cost just be to just like walk in with your dog to like a
just
like a little once over?
Yep. So general practitioner like me, we're in Nebraska, remember, be nice to us. So Nebraska, it's like the office visits around $60 to walk in, physical exam, that kind of deal. At a general practitioner like me. If you go to the emergency room, those on average are about $150 to $175 for a once over.
That's still really expensive peace of mind.
It's a very expensive peace of mind. I totally agree with that. But that kind of gives you an idea. Like the physical exam that I do is just as good as what they do.
Sure.
Mine might be better. I don't know. It's all based on the veterinary, but it's just because it is more expensive to run emergency hospitals. It is, so they have to cover their costs.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is, it's just like anything. Like you're trying to get in the middle of the night, and you have limited staff, and it's just more expensive to run that. So they're going to charge more, unfortunately. And I've had offers to work at the emergency clinic here in town, and I have said no every time.
Good.
I think emergency medicine is great. I do a lot of emergency medicine during the daytime hours at our vet hospital because it is a hospital. It's gotten busier and busier with emergency stuff, but I don't think I would ever do anything overnight or emergency like that. It's just not my vibe. Yeah.
Well, we have really little kids.
I know we do.
So you need to be home at night.
Okay. That is all I had planned for the day. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Hi, Mallory.
Mallory made it on again.
Yeah. I see her comment.
I don't know this Mallory person. She must really like our show. She's been here twice. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching the live stream. We're going to try to be on weekly on Sundays. I'm trying to shoot for 2:30, but I kind of fall behind with some of the stuff we're doing. Usually church tends not go super late, but I mean, we do church and Chipotle. We got a busy Sunday morning. It's important stuff right there. But anyway, I hope you all have a great week, and I hope your doggies and kitties are happy and healthy, and you are too. And you guys take care. Cool.